I see is that New York is facing this really important choice between two totally different futures. In one future, we have a Andrew Cuomo style of government for another 4 years, and he may call himself a Democrat, but in practice he's far more of a Republican. In that future, we don't fund our schools. In that future, we may allow hydrofracking. In that future, the priorities are more tax breaks for big banks and tax breaks for the 1%. I have a vision of a totally different future. I have a vision of having the best public schools in the country. I think we need to not only ban fracking, but actually move towards a renewable energy future and lead the country in solar, wind, and water. And not only hire people for hundreds of thousands of green jobs, but make sure that we have a source of power that isn't toxic. In my future, we invest in a small business economy, family farms, sustainable agriculture, and we invest in our cities. Because Andrew Cuomo has one pattern, which is to starve institutions and then blame them for failing. So he will starve schools and then blame the teachers because the kids aren't learning well enough. And then he starves our cities and blames the cities because the basic services aren't being met. Well, there's a party for that kind of ideology. It's the Republican Party. It's not the Democratic Party. So I am a traditional Democrat. I am a traditional Democrat in the FDR tradition.
All right.
I know that the way to a thriving economy and a thriving democracy is to invest in our schools.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is to respect our public employees. It is to invest in our cities so they can provide the basic services that we need. People don't move here because of tax breaks. They move here when we provide great services and have great schools and have the infrastructure that we need to thrive. So today I am blowing the whistle on bank tax repeal. Everywhere we go, we're focusing on something different. So we've blown the whistle on what's happening with fracking and why Andrew Cuomo is silent on hydrofracking. $1 million he's taken from pro-fracking interest. We've blown the whistle on public education and why he has stolen from schools to pay for tax breaks for the richest New Yorkers. And when I'm blowing the whistle, I'm not blowing the whistle on illegal bribery. That's a problem, but that isn't the real problem in New York State. The real problem in New York State is legal corruption. It's when Extel Corporation gives $100,000 and 2 days later gets a subsidy worth tens of millions of dollars. That may not be bribery, but it's a form of corruption. So do we have any whistleblowers here?
Yeah.
Because I am proud. Today I want to talk about bank tax repeal because that's evidence that Andrew Cuomo is not a Democrat. It's evidence that Andrew Cuomo is working for the big banks, and I have spent my career fighting big banks. I started an organization dedicated to breaking up big banks. So Andrew Cuomo is maybe running on the Democratic primary line, but you know what his priority was? His priority was this past year giving the big banks a big loophole and a big tax break, and they don't need it. Because you know who needs it? Our cities, our firefighters. I'm so proud to stand here with some of the bravest people in New York. We have many firefighters behind me. They are personally brave and they are politically brave to stand up against Andrew Cuomo. So I'm blowing the whistle because I will tell you, if you tell a Democrat walking into that voting booth, you know what Andrew Cuomo did last year? Instead of fighting for our schools or our firefighters or our cities, he fought for bank tax repeal. They're going to vote for the other option on the Democratic primary ticket. And we have the opportunity to break the glass ceiling in New York State. And have the upset of the century. I'll tell you why. Because in the last week, we have gotten the endorsement of The Nation magazine.
Oh, the nation.
This week.
We have gotten the endorsement, this is just this week, this is the last 5 days. We have gotten the endorsement of The Nation magazine, the Sierra Club, the National Organization for Women, and countless other groups. But these are powerhouses in the Democratic primary. Because they see what I see, which is that Andrew Cuomo is not representing all of us. He is representing an old, corrupt, old boys network in Albany, which is secretive, which protects its own, and is not fighting for the interests of all New Yorkers. So when Andrew Cuomo refuses to debate me, you think if the New York Times asks you to debate, New York Times had a column saying, debate Zephyr Teachout, Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
He was silent. New York One offered debate. So far, he's still been silent. I'm preparing for debate. We have a debate scheduled next Tuesday. And I am not scared of going in front of Andrew Cuomo and any question he wants to ask me.
Okay. Yeah. If you see.
But I'll tell you, if Andrew Cuomo keeps trying to hide from this debate, the question is, what is he scared of? And the real question is, given that he is serving his big donors, what is the old boys club scared of? Well, they're scared of the fact that we are going to have the upset of the century. Thank you very much for